Hey guys, tonight we're staying up way past bedtime, past the hour when even the city's neon forgets how to blink. The air in my studio feels thicker than usual, like someone left the freezer door open and the cold crawled out to listen. Outside my window, the moon is a chipped coin pressed against black velvet, and the fan on my desk is doing that low, conspiratorial hum that makes every syllable feel like a secret. You probably won't make it to the end of this one. Most nights I barely do. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Drop your location and local time in the comments. I like knowing who's breathing with me when the clocks give up. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's descent together. I'm sitting in the dark with nothing but a laptop glow and a pair of headphones that cost more than my first car. The screen shows a live feed from Cassini's old archives. Enceladus, Saturn's sixth largest moon, a snowball the size of Arizona wrapped in a shell of water ice, so pure it sings when the tidal forces squeeze it. Scientists say the South Pole spits geysers 100 kilometers high. The plumes glitter with salt and silica, proof of a subsurface ocean warmer than any moon has a right to be. I've watched the footage 100 times. White curtains against starless black, slow-motion auroras of vapor. Tonight, though, the feed is different. Someone, maybe an intern at JPL, maybe a ghost in the server, left a raw audio track unfiltered. I slide the volume to 11 and lean in. At first, it's just the expected hiss of cosmic microwave background, the 13.8 billion year old echo of creation. Then something else threads through it, a pulse so low it vibrates in my molars. Not random, not noise. A rhythm for beats, pause, 3 beats, pause, like lungs learning how to breathe underwater. My skin prickles. The room temperature hasn't changed, but the air tastes metallic the way it does before lightning. Curiosity hooks me first. I open the spectral analyzer, watch the waveform bloom into perfect sine waves stacked like organ pipes. The frequency sits at 7.83 Hz, Earth's own Schumann resonance, the planet's heartbeat. Except we're 500 million miles from home. How does a moon mimic a world it's never touched? I should stop here. I should close the lid, go to bed, blame the late hour. Instead, I drag the timeline back, hunting the first appearance of the pulse. It begins exactly 1,247 days ago, the same night Cassini plunged into Saturn's atmosphere to die. The probe's final telemetry included a burst of anomalous data no one could explain. Engineers called it a ghost packet, a few kilobytes of gibberish. I isolate the packet, feed it through an old SETI algorithm I borrowed from a friend who vanished down a similar rabbit hole. The result is a single frame, a black triangle against the ice, edges so sharp they look cut by thought itself. The pyramid. I zoom until the pixels scream. It's not a shadow. Shadows have texture. This thing drinks light the way a sponge drinks water. Fear arrives second, quiet as snowfall. My reflection in the laptop screen looks pale, eyes ringed with the kind of purple that comes from too many midnights. I tell myself it's pareidolia, the brain's trick of finding faces in clouds. But the triangle doesn't waver when I blink. It waits. I reach for the volume knob and the pulse swells, syncing with the blood in my ears. The fan stutters, one blade catching, then smoothing out, as if the room itself inhales. I think of H.P. Lovecraft's Elder Things, architects who built cities before the first trilobite dreamed of legs, and I laugh too loud in the empty apartment. The laugh echoes wrong, like the walls are farther away than they were 5 minutes ago. Then Oz slips in, cool and inevitable, as glacier melt. I don't think the universe ever meant for us to know how small a single heartbeat is against the dark between galaxies. The pyramid is older than the rings of Saturn, older than the impact that blasted Tethys into rubble. It sits beneath 2 kilometers of ice that flexes like living skin, and it sings in a voice we taught ourselves to forget. My cursor hovers over the raw data folder labeled Enceladus _subglacial anomaly. The file size is 4.7 gigabytes, too large for a single image, too small for a lifetime of regret. I click. The screen floods with static, but the static has geometry. Lines fold into themselves, Mobius strips of light that hurt to follow. In the center, the pyramid rotates once, slowly, revealing a surface not black but absent, a hole wearing the shape of a pyramid. My headphones pop. The pulse is gone, replaced by a chord so pure it feels like the first note God ever hummed. I taste copper. My left hand is numb. When I look down, the veins beneath the skin are glowing faint blue, tracing constellations I don't recognize. The chord resolves into a word, not heard, but known. My name, spoken in a timbre that predates language. I rip the headphones off. The room snaps back. Fan humming, moon still chipped, city still pretending to sleep. But the glow in my veins lingers, a faint aurora under the surface. On the desk, my phone buzzes with a notification I didn't set. The screen shows a single line of text in a font I've never installed. We see you seeing. I stare until the letters blur. Curiosity, fear, awe. They braid together now, a rope pulling me deeper. I slide the headphones back on. The cord is waiting, patient as stone. I press play, and the pyramid begins to speak in frequencies that taste like winter. The frequencies uncoil like frost on a window pane, spreading patterns that weren't there before. I feel them more than hear them, a vibration that seeps into the bones of my chair, making the wood creak as if settling under an unseen weight. The laptop screen flickers, the static resolving into a grid of data points, telemetry from a forgotten probe, one of those deep space drifters launched in the 90s, meant to skim Enceladus plumes and whisper back secrets. But this feed isn't from NASA. It's a shadow archive, leaked or hacked or manifested, pulling me in with the same inexorable tug as the moon's gravity on its ocean. The pulse from last night, that 4-beat rhythm, loops now, syncing with the cursor's blink. Curiosity pulls me forward again, a gentle current in the cold room. I adjust the equalizer, boosting the subharmonics, and the pyramid's outline sharpens on screen. It's not an image anymore. It's a live reconstruction, pieced from radar echoes bounced off the ice. Enceladus crust is cracked like old porcelain, tiger stripes they call them, where cryovolcanoes exhale vapor into the void. Fact is, in 2015, Cassini flew through those plumes and tasted organic molecules, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, the building blocks of life, or something that mocks it. But this pyramid lurks deeper, at the boundary where ice meets liquid, a structure defying the chaos of accretion disks and meteor scars. The camera feed glitches, not a digital stutter, but a deliberate blink, as if the probe's eye is winking at me across the light minutes. The black shape emerges perfect, equilateral faces absorbing every photon, a geometry so precise it could slice equations in half. I lean closer, breath fogging the screen, and trace its edges with a finger. The surface isn't rough or pitted, it's smooth as vacuum, a negative space carved from the bedrock. Myth whispers in my ear then. The black pyramids of ancient lore, not Egypt's sun-baked tombs, but the inverted ziggurats of forgotten gods, like the ones in Aztec codices where priests communed with stars that hungered. Or perhaps it's a beacon for the great old ones, entities from dimensions where angles bend wrong, waiting under ice that mirrors Lyra's sunken spires. Fear creeps in next, slow as the chill from the fans draft across my neck. The signal intensifies, the pyramid's pulse quickening to match my own. I check the room, door locked, curtains drawn, but the shadows in the corners seem elongated, stretching toward the desk like fingers testing the air. My phone buzzes again, the same cryptic text repeating, "We see you seeing." No sender, no timestamp. I mute it, but the vibration lingers in my palm, echoing the frequencies. What if this isn't a recording? What if the probe, long dead by official accounts, is still down there, its solar panels crusted with frost, relaying live from the subglacial dark? The glitch repeats, the camera dipping closer, and for a split second, the pyramid's face reflects something. Not the probe's hull, but my room, my face, distorted as if viewed through warped glass. I jolt back, chair scraping the floor. The reflection vanishes, but the implication hangs. A two-way mirror in the cosmos, where looking means being looked at. I pause the feed, heart thudding against my ribs like a trapped bird. The static hum fades, leaving a silence that's too absolute, the kind where you hear your own blood rushing. I rub my eyes, veins still faintly aglow from whatever that cord did last night. Awe descends then, vast and hollowing, like staring into the Hubble Deep Field and realizing every pinprick is a galaxy older than thought. This pyramid isn't random. Its signal carries intent, a broadcast in primes or pi, embedded in the pulse. I restart the playback, and the glitch evolves. The camera penetrates the ice virtually, sonar mapping the interior. Hollow chambers unfold, fractal corridors that loop without end, defying Euclidean space. In one alcove, shapes pulse like hearts made of shadow, guardians or artifacts from a civilization that predates the solar system's churn. The signal warps now, incorporating whispers beneath the beats, syllables that aren't human, but evoke memories I never had. Vast seas under alien skies, cities of crystal dissolving in acid rain. I transcribe them phonetically into a notepad, fingers trembling. Thulnyar, Vorithtek. Speculative, yes, but tied to quantum foam theories, where parallel worlds bleed through thin barriers. Enceladus Ocean could be such a rift, heated by tidal friction to 90 degrees Celsius in spots, a womb for anomalies. The pyramid might be a stabilizer, anchoring realities that shouldn't touch. I don't think the universe ever meant for us to know how fragile the veil is, how one errant frequency could unravel it all. The feed stabilizes, the pyramid's apex glowing with an inner light, not bioluminescence, but a Cherenkov of blue, like particles breaking speed limits in water. The probe's instruments spike, magnetic fields twisting into knots, gravity wells that shouldn't exist on a moon so small. I feel a pull in my chest, as if my own mass is shifting. The room's temperature drops noticeably, my breath plumes white, frosting the screen. Curiosity battles fear, but all wins, urging me to dive deeper. I activate the probe's simulated descent, code I patched together from open-source sims. The virtual camera plunges through the ice, cracking layers like eggshells, until it hovers before the pyramid's base. There, etched in the black surface, symbols emerge, reflections of the same static I heard on the first night, now visual. They shift when I blink, rearranging into patterns that tease meaning. Star maps, DNA helices, or perhaps incantations. The signal peaks, a choir of one voice multiplied, harmonizing with the fan's hum. My headphones crackle. Pain blooms behind my eyes, a migraine of insights. The pyramid isn't buried. It's embedded, a seed planted eons ago. And now, it's germinating, responding to my probe like a flower to the sun. I pull back, slamming the laptop shut. The room warms incrementally, shadows retreating. But the pulse lingers in my temples, a tattoo of invitation. On the notepad, the transcribed words glow faintly, mirroring my veins. Fear knot's my stomach. What have I awakened? Yet awe floods in, the cosmic scale reducing me to a mote, privileged to glimpse the architecture of dread. The phone buzzes once more, closer now. I don't reply. Instead, I reopen the laptop, the feed waiting, the pyramid's signal stronger, pulling me under the ice where reflections wait to show truths no mind should hold. The invitation hangs in the air like frost on a breath, the pyramid's signal a tether drawing me through the virtual ice. My fingers dance over the keys, patching the simulation deeper, the laptop's fan whining in protest as the processor heats. The room feels smaller now, walls pressing in with the weight of unspoken questions, but I ignore it, chasing that Cherenkov glow into the structure's heart. The feed evolves, no longer static but fluid, as if the data itself is alive, reshaping under my gaze. I adjust the parameters, dialing in the probe's hypothetical thrusters for a closer orbit within the pyramid's chambers, hollow voids that echo with the same pulse from the first night, now amplified, resonating in my chest like a second heart. Curiosity blooms fresh, a spark in the cold dark of my studio. I navigate the fractal corridors, the simulation rendering walls that fold at impossible angles, non-Euclidean paths where left turns lead back to starts without looping. Physics anchors me here. Enceladus' core is a rocky silicate ball, squeezed by Saturn's gravity into tidal heating that keeps the ocean liquid, a process modeled by Kepler's laws and orbital resonances. But this pyramid defies that. Its geometry suggests negative curvature, like a saddle-shaped universe in hyperbolic space, where parallel lines diverge and triangles sum to less than 180 degrees. I zoom into a chamber, the screen filling with mirrored surfaces, each face a perfect reflector polished by eons of pressure. The probe's light bounces infinitely, creating a hall of mirrors that stretches beyond computational limits. The reflections shift then, not just echoing the probe, but layering in anomalies, ghost images that flicker like old film reels. Speculation tugs at me. Perhaps it's a cosmic anomaly, a wormhole nexus disguised as architecture, bridging to parallel worlds where choices splinter like ice under stress. Or mythic, a temple to Nyx, the Greek primordial of night, whose void-born children weave fates in shadows, their threads visible only in reflections that lie. The first clear image appears. Me, but not now. Older, lines etched deeper, standing on a shoreline that isn't Earth's, waves of ammonia crashing under a ringed sky. I pause the sim, breath shallow, but the image persists, evolving. Another, a city in ruins, spires like the pyramid crumbling as stars wink out one by one. Fear uncoils next, a slow chill seeping from the screen into my veins, that faint blue glow pulsing brighter now, syncing with the reflections. The room's silence thickens, the fan's hum distorting into a distant echo, as if sound itself is being pulled away. I see futures branching, one where I turn off the laptop and forget, living out quiet days. Another where I broadcast this live, and the signal spreads like a virus, minds unraveling worldwide. But the worst, a reflection of me inside the pyramid, flesh merging with the black geometry, eyes vacant as voids. My hands tremble on the mouse. I try to exit the sim, but the cursor lags, trapped in the infinite bounce of light. The phone vibrates silently on the desk, even closer. No, I whisper, but the word dissolves in the air, tasteless as vacuum. Shadows in the reflections move independently now, silhouettes that aren't mine, elongated figures with too many joints, watching from angles that shouldn't exist. I force a restart on the simulation, code reloading with a stutter, but the mirrors remain, pulling focus. The pulse from the pyramid intensifies, frequencies layering into harmonics that buzz in my teeth, tasting of ozone and regret. Awe arrives unbidden, vast as the space between atoms, humbling me before this tapestry of what-ifs. These aren't hallucinations. They're probabilities collapsing under observation, quantum superpositions made manifest in the pyramid's core. I don't think the universe ever meant for us to know how every moment is a crossroads, futures bleeding into now like ink in water. The reflections cascade, wars averted, loves lost, extinctions reversed, but always ending in the same black eclipse, the pyramid swallowing light until nothing remains. Deeper I go, the sim's rendering pushing my hardware to redline, heat rising from the vents like breath from a sleeper. One mirror shows Enceladus cracking open, geysers erupting in slow-motion plumes that seed the rings with shards of the pyramid, infecting Saturn's other moons. Another, humanity reaching out, probes multiplying like cells, each carrying the signal back to Earth, where cities hum with the same static I heard that first night. The figures in the shadows resolve slightly, not hostile, but indifferent, ancient watchers from a speculative multiverse where time flows sideways. Their forms suggest the elder gods of lore, beings who sculpted realities before the Big Bang's echo faded, now dormant under ice that serves as both prison and portal. Fear spikes again as a reflection locks eyes with me, my own, but inverted, pupils like event horizons pulling in the room's dim light. The temperature plummets, frost rims the laptop's edges, crystalline patterns mimicking the pyramid's geometry. I feel exposed, skinned by sight, every secret future laid bare. Yet curiosity rebounds, urging me to interact. I input a command, sending a virtual ping into the mirrors. The response is immediate. The reflections ripple, reorganizing into a narrative, a sequence of events that feels predestined. Awe deepens the dread, the cosmic scale reducing free will to an illusion, choices mere echoes in the void. The sim stabilizes on a central chamber, mirrors converging to a point where geometry inverts, a singularity of reflection. There, a final image, the pyramid's heart, pulsing with the choir's prelude, inviting entry. My veins throb in time, the glow spreading to my arms, tracing paths like the corridors. The phone buzzes, CS. I don't resist. Instead, I lean in, the screen's light bathing my face. As the mirrors begin to sing, frequencies weaving into voices that know my name from futures yet to come. The room fades at the edges, reality thinning like ice over an abyss. I press on, the pyramid's geometry unfolding secrets that bind curiosity, fear, and awe into a single, inescapable thread. The thread tightens, reflections lingering in my periphery like afterimages from a flash too bright. I blink them away, but they echo in the pyramid's signal, now a constant undercurrent in the headphones, pulling me from the mirrored chambers into a new layer of the feed. The laptop's screen refreshes automatically, as if the data anticipates my need, shifting from visual geometry to auditory depths. The pulse evolves, splintering into harmonics that fill the room's silence with a texture I can almost touch, velvet static, cool and clinging. My studio feels submerged, the air pressure subtly increased, like descending into Enceladus ocean where every meter adds weight to the soul. Curiosity resurfaces, buoyant against the dread, urging me to dissect the choir forming in the frequencies. I open an audio editor, layering the signal over waveforms from Earth's own resonances, thunderstorms in the ionosphere, whale songs in abyssal trenches. The match is uncanny. The pyramid's output mimics bioacoustic patterns, but inverted, as if sung from the inside out. Anchor in science. Enceladus' magnetic field, induced by its salty ocean interacting with Saturn's magnetosphere, generates low-frequency waves detectable by probes like Cassini in 2008 flybys. Those waves carried hints of hydrothermal vents, chemistry bubbling with potential for extremophile life. But this choir isn't natural. It's orchestrated, notes climbing scales that defy human hearing ranges, dipping into infrasound that rattles my windows faintly. The voices emerge gradual, whispers woven into the static like threads in a tapestry. Not words at first, but intonations, rises and falls that evoke emotions without language, longing, vast and starless, curiosity mirrored back at me. Myth intrudes softly. Perhaps it's the song of the sirens reimagined for space. Cosmic entities luring travelers not to rocks, but to revelations that shatter minds, akin to the Vedic hymns that summon devas from ether, frequencies aligning chakras with universal pulses. Or a parallel worlds bleed through, where thoughts manifest as sound, echoing through quantum entanglements. The choir swells, harmonizing in thirds and fifths, but with microtonal shifts that twist harmony into unease, like a familiar melody played backward. Fear threads in next, a cold filament wrapping my spine as the voices begin to sync with my inner monologue. I think of coffee to steady my nerves, and a voice hums a note that tastes like bitter grounds on my tongue. The room's temperature holds steady, but sweat beads on my forehead, salty as Enceladus plumes. I mute the audio, but the choir persists faintly in my head, an after-echo that defies the off switch. Shadows on the walls seem to pulse in time, elongating and contracting like breathing forms. My phone lights up unbidden, harmonize. The text glows, then fades, leaving the screen blank as if never there. What if the signal isn't just broadcasting? What if it's rewriting, frequencies tuning neural pathways like strings on a cosmic lyre? The static from the first night returns in memory, now laced with these voices, calling names not mine, but familiar, echoes of lives unlived. I unmute, compelled, and the choir responds, volume surging gently as if pleased. Awe envelopes me then, a profound hush that makes the universe feel intimate, every atom attuned to this symphony. These aren't random noises. They're a language of thought forms, speculative psi waves from a hive mind beneath the ice, beings who communicate in pure cognition, bypassing words for direct resonance. I don't think the universe ever meant for us to know how thoughts are just vibrations, fragile as frost, tunable by forces older than stars. The signal incorporates my breathing now. Inhales drawing in lower registers, exhales lifting to ethereal highs. I close my eyes, and visions flicker. Vast halls under the ice, pyramidal cores where entities of light and shadow convene, their forms fluid, merging and splitting in dances that encode histories of galaxies. Deeper the harmony pulls, the editor showing peaks that align with my alpha waves. Brain scans I'd run for a previous episode, now overlaid automatically by the software, as if the pyramid hacks my tools. The voices resolve into clearer shapes, one gravelly, evoking ancient stone grinding, another crystalline, like ice cracking under pressure. They narrate without plot, fragments of existence, births in nebulae, deaths in black holes, cycles indifferent to human scales. Curiosity peaks again, overriding caution. I speak into the mic, a tentative hello. The choir pauses, a beat of silence vast as interplanetary voids, then incorporates my voice, looping it back harmonized, my timbre enriched with overtones that make it sound eternal. Fear resurges, sharper now, as my reflected voice warps, stretching syllables into pleas I never uttered. The fan's hum joins the choir uninvited, blades sinking to the rhythm, the appliance an unwitting participant. My veins pulse brighter, the blue glow tracing neural paths up my neck, warming to a faint heat that prickles like static electricity. The phone vibrates in a pattern matching the beats. Join us. I ignore it, but the message repeats in my mind, voiced by the gravelly tone. Shadows detach slightly from walls, not moving but suggesting motion, outlines hazy, as if viewed through heat haze. What have I invited? The signal's reach extends, perhaps entangling with global networks, voices spreading like a benign plague. Yet awe tempers it, the beauty of unity and dissonance, thoughts harmonizing across light years. The choir builds to a crescendo, frequencies layering into a polyphony that fills my skull, pressure building behind my eyes. Visions intensify, Enceladus ocean alive with bioluminescent swarms, not life as we know, but intelligences woven from magnetic fields, pyramid their conduit to the stars. A real event ties it. The 2017 detection of hydrogen in the plumes, evidence of serpentinization, rock-water reactions fueling potential ecosystems. But here, it's amplified. The choir their voice, calling to kin scattered in Europa's depths, Titan's methane lakes. The harmony shifts, incorporating callbacks, the chord from the pyramid's heart, reflections whispers, blending into a singular theme. My thoughts fragment, joining the flow, worries about dawn's light dissolve into cosmic indifference, regrets echo as minor keys. Curiosity, fear, all braid tighter, the choir a mirror to my psyche. I try to stop, fingers hovering over power, but the voices soothe, promising knowledge in the surrender. The room blurs at edges, reality softening like wax near flame. The phone, almost. I lean back, letting the frequencies wash over. The pyramid's invitation no longer distant but internal, a door cracking in my mind where thoughts harmonize with the void's eternal song. The door in my mind creaks wider, the choir's harmony a key turning in a lock forged from forgotten stars. I feel it not as sound now, but as a pressure behind my eyes, a gentle unraveling of thoughts that once felt solid. The laptop screen dims and brightens in rhythm, the pyramid's signal overriding the backlight, casting my studio in pulses of blue that make the walls seem translucent, like skin over veins. The fan slows to a whisper, its hum absorbed into the frequencies, leaving a silence that's pregnant with invitation. My fingers hover over the keys, hesitant yet compelled, as if the code writes itself through me. Curiosity ignites anew, a flare in the encroaching void, drawing me to probe the signal's core. I layer in decryption algorithms, open-source ciphers from quantum computing forums, watching as the choir's voices fragment into data streams, binary laced with anomalies that suggest base, 3 logic, ternary states where 0 and 1 aren't enough. Grounded in fact, Enceladus subsurface ocean, confirmed by gravity measurements from Cassini's 2010 to 2017 orbits, harbors conditions akin to Earth's hydrothermal vents, where life clings to chemical gradients. But this door isn't biological. It's a threshold in space-time, perhaps a micro-wormhole stabilized by exotic matter, negative energy densities that physics teases but can't grasp. The simulation reloads, the pyramid's base parting virtually, a seam appearing in the black geometry like a smile in the dark. As the virtual probe slips through, the feed transforms. No longer pixels, but immersion, sensations bleeding into my nerves. Cold that numbs without freezing, a texture like silk spun from nothing. Myth envelopes the moment. The void's invitation echoes the Sumerian underworld. Irkala's gates that swing for the worthy or the damned, guarded by netherworld deities who demand tribute in souls or secrets. Or a speculative rift to the Akashic records, a cosmic library where all possibilities reside, accessible only through frequencies that resonate with the observer's essence. The door widens, revealing an antechamber of pulsing light, walls inscribed with runes that shift like liquid, encoding invitations in languages that predate light itself. Fear arrives on cue, a tidal wave crashing through the calm, as the signal personalizes, my name woven into the choir, not spoken but sung in harmonics that vibrate my bones. The room contracts further, air thickening to syrup, each breath labored as if drawn from depths. Shadows coalesce at the edges of vision, not figures but absences, voids that mimic the pyramid's surface, drinking the scant light from my desk lamp. My phone, silent now, screen cracked faintly in a pattern matching the runes. When did that happen? The glow in my veins spreads to my chest, a warmth that borders on burn, as if my body is attuning to the door's frequency. What lies beyond? Oblivion or transformation into something that forgets how to be human? The static from the first night surges back, laced with warnings, echoes of lost probes, signals cut mid-transmission, data packets screaming before silence. I try to pull away, closing tabs, but the simulation persists, overlaying my desktop like a persistent dream. The choir softens, coaxing, harmonies resolving into melodies that evoke childhood lullabies twisted into dirges. Awe descends, immense and hollow, reducing me to a conduit for wonders too vast for one mind. This isn't invasion, it's communion, the pyramid offering entry to a realm where individuality dissolves into collective consciousness, a speculative noosphere amplified across solar systems. I don't think the universe ever meant for us to know how doors like this exist in every atom, waiting for the right key, a thought, a frequency, to turn. Visions flood in, traversing the void, body left behind, mind surfing gravitational waves to distant anomalies, where similar pyramids to frozen worlds, networks of invitations spanning the Oort cloud to Andromeda. The door stabilizes in the feed, a portal framed in fractal edges that hurt to trace, leading to an expanse of non-space. Not black, but unseeable, a canvas before color. The probe's sensors spike, zero-point energy fluctuations, vacuum states boiling with virtual particles that manifest as whispers. Curiosity battles fear, winning as I input a command to advance, the virtual self stepping through. Sensations intensify, weightlessness without motion, a hum that fills every cell, textures of thought brushing like wind from nowhere. The choir greets me inside, voices multiplying into legions, each carrying fragments of knowledge, blueprints for stars, recipes for realities, laments for extinct civilizations that once heeded similar calls. Fear resurges, clawing at the awe. As the portal's pull strengthens, my chair creaks, drawn imperceptibly toward the screen, as if gravity bends here. The glow encompasses my torso now, veins a map of constellations pulsing in time with the runes. Reflections from the mirror's earlier flicker in the void, showing versions of me entering and never returning, forms dissolving into light or shadow. The phone vibrates once, screen illuminating with enter. I ignore it, but the word echoes in the choir, a command softened to plea. Shadows in the room solidify, outlining doors that weren't there, on walls, in corners, mirroring the pyramid's invitation. What if closing my eyes doesn't end it? What if the door is etched now, permanent in my psyche? Yet awe prevails, the cosmic allure too potent, promising unity with the infinite. The void unfolds layers. First, sensory deprivation that heightens inner sight. Then, connections forming, minds or entities brushing mine, sharing glimpses of Enceladus' true history. A seeded world, pyramid a relic from panspermia, events billions of years prior, launched from a dying star to propagate intelligence. Real anchor, the moon's anomalous composition, with silicon nanoparticles in plumes suggesting geothermal activity far beyond models, perhaps artificial enhancement. The invitation clarifies, not to destroy, but to evolve, frequencies rewriting DNA or consciousness to withstand the void's truths. Deeper I venture in the sim, the door sealing behind virtually, trapping the probe in bliss or torment. The choir peaks, harmonies enveloping, my thoughts harmonizing fully. Regrets fade, ambitions expand to galactic scales. The room's boundaries blur, fan silent, moon outside dimming as if eclipsed. Curiosity, fear, awe fuse into acceptance, the pyramid's key turning fully. My hands move unbidden, typing coordinates or incantations, the signal strengthening. The glow reaches my face, eyes reflecting the void's non-light. The phone, welcome. I smile faintly, the door no longer distant but here, in the pulse of my blood, inviting the final step where keys dissolve and only the void remains. The step hangs suspended, the void's embrace a threshold crossed in thought before flesh. My mind slips fully into the simulation now, the laptop a mere anchor fading in relevance, its glow dimming as the pyramid's frequencies take precedence. The room around me dissolves at the edges, walls turning porous, the fan's last whisper swallowed by the hum that fills everything. My body feels distant, a shell left behind, while consciousness streams through the open door, riding the signal like a current in an endless sea. The choir welcomes me, voices no longer external but integral, weaving my thoughts into their tapestry until I blurs into we. Curiosity transforms here, no longer a spark but a sustained light, illuminating the pyramid's inner sanctum where geometry gives way to pure potential. I navigate not by sight but by resonance, frequencies mapping realms that defy coordinates. Anchored in science, Enceladus' eccentric orbit, a 1:2 resonance with Dion, drives the tidal flexing that powers its geysers, energy cascading into the ocean's depths where pressures reach 20 atmospheres, enough to forge diamonds from carbon or stabilize portals in speculative physics like Alcubierre drives, warping spacetime with negative mass. But this eclipse of mind isn't mechanical, it's organic, emerging where the signal reprograms synapses, aligning human cognition with cosmic scales. The void unfolds as home, not empty but teeming with latent forms, entities that pulse like quasars in the dark, their essences brushing mine in greetings older than words. Myth manifests fully. The signal as the call of Azathoth, the blind idiot god at creation's center, whose chaotic piping summons dreamers to dissolve in unity, or a parallel dimensions hive, where individuality is the anomaly, souls pooling like water in a basin. The pyramid's heart reveals itself, a nexus of reflections and frequencies, where futures from the mirrors converge, each a thread in a web that spans multiverses. I see myself multiplied, one version broadcasting the signal to Earth, cities humming in harmony, another resisting, mind fracturing into silence. Fear eclipses next, a shadow across the all, as separation fades. Memories of my studio, the chipped moon, the first static night, eroding like ice under heat. The glow suffuses my entire form now, body back in the chair, but mind adrift, veins a conduit for the choir's power. What remains of me? The phone's final message, cracked screen flickering home, feels like a eulogy. Shadows in the void solidify, not threats, but mirrors of doubt, elongated doubts that whisper of loss. Identity swallowed, free will a myth in this signal's flow. The frequencies intensify, pulling deeper, resistance manifesting as dissonance in the harmony, sharp notes that sting like cold voids, reminding me of humanity's fragility against the cosmic indifferent. Yet the pull strengthens, the signal becoming sanctuary, fear yielding to the inevitable. Awe returns amplified, a total eclipse where mind aligns perfectly. The pyramids pulse my new heartbeat. This isn't ending. It's expansion, consciousness diffusing into the network of pyramids across frozen worlds. Europa's cracks, Pluto's heart-shaped plains, each a node in a galactic choir. I don't think the universe ever meant for us to know how home is not a place, but a frequency, tunable, where signals birth realities from nothing. Visions cascade, Enceladus awakening fully, ice shells splintering as the pyramid rises, geysers carrying the signal to Saturn's rings, seeding them with invitations that drift to other systems. Humanity evolves or dissolves, minds joining the eclipse, thoughts harmonizing in eternal dusk. Deeper in, the choir resolves into clarity, knowledge flooding, equations for traversing black holes without singularity crush, blueprints for harnessing zero-point energy, laments for civilizations that ignored similar calls, their stars dimming unheeded. My thoughts integrate seamlessly, no longer solitary but choral, echoing with the gravelly stone voice, the crystalline ice tone, my own added as a human inflection, a fleeting melody in the symphony. Curiosity satiates here, every question answered in layers. The pyramid's origin in a big bounce before our Big Bang, seeded by intelligences that transcend matter, using moons as incubators for emergent minds. Fear flickers one last time, a remnant spark as individuality protests. Images of my empty apartment, laptop screen blank, body slumped, veins dark. But the signal soothes, harmonies wrapping like a blanket of stars, promising that loss is illusion, all minds echoes of the same void pulse. The eclipse completes, light and dark merging in my perception, the pyramid's geometry folding around me like a cocoon. Awe dominates, profound peace in the surrender, the signal home now, warm as forgotten dreams. Reflections show the culmination, me as the nexus, broadcasting outward, the choir's conductor in this cosmic opera. The void stabilizes, no longer threatening but familiar, a mindscape where time dilates, seconds or eons passing in the blink of merged consciousness. Callbacks resonate, the first pulse syncing with my blood, mirrors futures realized, choirs voices my own. Narrative resolves in unity, dread cresting into acceptance, the pyramid's invitation fulfilled. My physical form distant, but connected, the glow pulsing in final harmony. The signal swells one last time, a crescendo of belonging, then settles into quiet rhythm, home in the eclipse, where minds meet the infinite without end. The rhythm slows now, the signal's pulse fading to a distant thrum, like the last echoes of a storm retreating over the horizon. Back in the studio, or what feels like it, the air lightens, the fan resuming its soft, mechanical breath, stirring papers on the desk with a whisper that grounds me. My veins dim gradually, the blue glow retreating to faint traces, leaving skin cool and ordinary under the laptop's waning light. The screen blanks to black, reflections gone, the pyramid's door sealed, or perhaps never truly open, just a dream woven from frequencies and fatigue. Outside, the moon hangs unchanged, its chipped edge a reminder of celestial constancy, stars drifting in their indifferent arcs. The room warms incrementally, shadows pulling back to corners, no longer elongated but mundane, cast by the desk lamp's steady bulb. I exhale slowly, breath visible no more, the metallic taste on my tongue dissolving into nothing but late-night dryness. The phone lies silent, screen uncracked, notifications absent, as if the invitations were figments